something I've been wanting to do for some time, and I want to do this for free too. I don't want to monetize. Actually, I'm probably going to try and get away with monetizing as little of my account as possible. I want to pass on some of the knowledge that I have when it comes to music. Now, when it comes to my guitar, I have self-taught. I haven't been able to afford to get music lessons, and that's fine. That's fine. God gave me a brain, my hands, and my eyes. So all I did was I just taught myself, you know, how to play a C, A minor, an E, step by step. Each day I'd practice, play, learn the basic chords and such, and I began to see results. Playing a guitar is, now that I look back in retrospect, it seemed a very daunting and very challenging task, and it is to some degree, because you do have to devote yourself. You have to take the time, and even if you start out with nothing but 15 minutes a day, toughen up your fingers, get calluses on the ends of your fingers, so that, and your fingers are going to hurt for a little bit, because they're going to have to get used to pressing, especially if you have steel strings. I'm going to have to probably change mine here soon. Anyway, what I wanted to do was I wanted to share, I basically want to share how to be able to read music. I'm not going to really get into too much today because I've got to get out my dry erase board for one, and my markers. Those are going to be a part of my instruction, part of my tools that I'm going to use to do this. Trying to think of how I'm doing this off the cuff, so there's no script. So, how to keep tempo, how many notes there are in a scale, different. Well, here's an example. This string is an E. That's an E as well. A, D, G, B, and then E again. And as you play different notes, on these strings, you make different notes. In an octave, what's called an octave. An octave has 8 notes. It can start with E and end up 8 notes later at another E. I'll go into more detail about all of this, but just to kind of show you, give you an idea. A whole note. If you look, I don't have my dry erase board, but if you ever look at a piece of music, and I'm going to have some examples, you'll see a circle, a little circle, about like whatever, on a set of lines and spaces. But it's hollowed out. It's just a circle. Sometimes it'll have a little line going up, but that circle is called a whole note. It's not filled in. It's just a line. That whole note gets 4 beats. Okay. Basically, what that means is, now when you play music, if you watch musicians, usually if I can't show you now, but usually what they do is they tap their foot. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? When you see a whole note like that, that little circle, that means that note gets 4 counts. So when you tap, when you go to play a note, you have to play it for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a whole note. See, stuff like this. It takes work. You have to study it. You have to be able to recognize. You have to be able to recognize what these notes are and what they mean, what they represent, how many beats. You may have a song that has nothing but whole notes in it, and I'll show you an example of this, and it'll be just nothing but 4 beats per measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ad infinitum all the way through it. It's little things like this that will help you to see it'll help you to see music in a whole different way. Looking at a sheet of music can be very confusing, and it can be kind of imposing too. In some cases, it's like there's a lot going on to try and process, if you don't know how to see these notes for what they're worth, it's almost overwhelming. But when you look at a sheet of music, it's taking that melody or whatever that's in your head and putting it on paper so that others can see and not only hear what's going on, but they can see what's going on the paper. And it's absolutely magical when you start to learn how to read music and you start to be able to put it together into the notes together, and you start to form melodies and rhythms. It's like it opens up this door for you, and it's like, what else can I do? What else can I do? And I can attest to this because when I finally learned how to do the F chord. That was one of the hardest chords for me to learn, because you have to put your index finger over 2 strings, and it's kind of hard to. I'll have to make some adjustments, but you have to press down to be able to get that tone. And I can even show you too some basic stuff on the guitar. If you're interested, I can help you get started. There's a lot of guitar players that are so incredibly talented. They're far beyond my skills. Fellow by the name of Chris Schultz. He has been my inspiration in these past 4 years. I've only been learning this for the past 4 years. The most amazing fingerstyle guitarist I've ever heard in my life. I'll put a link in my description or something for you to go and check out some of his music. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is so in case any of his students in his newly formed Horizon School want to pick up some, little tips or whatever like that, free of charge, just something to, kind of help them along. Maybe even if they can see some old codger like me, gray hair and a beard and whatever like this, that's only been playing for 4 years, can teach himself, then maybe that'll help them out and help them feel better about themselves. Because music is an art. Music is a form of expression that is magical. And when you start to learn how to make those notes, and you start to hear music come to life that you're creating, and that your hands are working together, and you start to hear it come together in your ears, it makes you want more. You want to learn more. You want to. I can't even begin to to tell you how many notebooks I've got of sheet music that I downloaded or that I found of all the songs that I ever wanted to play. And that was when I first got started. I looked at them, I thought, well, I'll learn those chords later. I tried to, I was like, I wanted to jump in expecting results right away. It didn't work. A couple of times I got a little discouraged. But I've told myself, if I really want to learn guitar and I really want to take what I've learned about music and apply it to my guitar studies, I'm going to have to put the time in. You have to. You know, there may be a few people that have been born with it. Folks like Mozart. My gosh, the guy was writing symphonies, full symphonies at I think it was like 9 or 10 or something like that. You know, what kid does that? Guys like Chris. He's been playing for, I think he said, like 30 years or something like this. You really need to, if you're interested in picking up guitar and starting to learn, and if you want some inspiration, watch a couple of the videos where Chris is playing a song. One of the first songs of his that I heard, Ferris Caballus. I was slack-jawed. I was just so dumbfounded by the way this guy was playing. I watched it over and over again, and I thought, okay, I've got to pick my guitar. I got to start practicing. It may take me a while, but I'm going to get to that skill level where I can play like that. And I've already made huge leaps forward. You can too. You can learn to read the music. You can learn the theory behind what makes those C chords, an A minor, you know, all these little chords, and I may even try to branch out a little bit into doing just simple stuff on the guitar. Like I said, there's others far more skilled than myself, but I've always understood and felt that the best way to learn is to teach, and I want to pass on what has been given to me. I learned back in elementary school. I started on a stringed instrument called the cello. And then I learned the violin. So I had to learn to read music to be able to do that, and it was a very early age, and I've retained all of that. And I want to pass that on to anybody who will listen. So. Like I said, today I'm not going to get too much into it, just kind of do an introduction. And kind of get you ready. I'm going to try to do a video. Not quite sure how I'm going to do this yet. I'm still going to work out the kinks, but at least one video a week, maybe 2 or 3, I don't know. I've got a lot of time here at the house, or the apartment I should say, but I'm going to try to do my best. So if you like this video and you want to see more, by all means come back. Subscribe if you like the video, whatever. Just give me some feedback. If there's something that I can help you with, feel free to ask. If I don't know it, I'll try and find a way to direct you to where you might be able to find out what what you wanted to know. But I want to give back. I've been blessed with things, and I want to give back. So, anyway, take care. I hope to see you in the next couple of days or so. I hope to see some comments, some criticisms. Criticism's great. If there's something that you think maybe I could improve on, by all means, tell me. But please, stop by. If you really want to learn how to read music, or if you just want to come by and just watch and just share some ideas, that's fine too. Either way, come by. We'll work through this together. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. You keep playing, brother, and one day we'll meet up. Take care, hang loose, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.